You know it's cold in here if I'm cold. Never cold. Oh, freezing.
That's amazing. Yeah,
Maybe I'm
it's
getting
so cold.
sick. I get to stay home a couple of
'Cause it
days.
doesn't feel. Maybe you are. Okay, so you go and you go to education. And you got everything here. So meeting agenda. You just click that. See all of our board meetings. Click the one that you're at. So it'll give you, so this document is. All of the documents for everything is they're listed. Dentistry's report that you'll see up on the screen is the superintendent report.
Well, that's problematic. Randy, did you come from Rochester?
Sir.
Where do you live? Rochester lady right here.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
Uh,
you're from Rochester?
yeah, he lives in Victor.
Ah, okay. I grew up on the west side of Rochester, like, and then lived in Greece.
Greece?
No, west side of inner Rochester.
Oh, okay. Yep.
Rochester. And lived in Greece, all over the west side. So Thurston Road,
Yep.
Genesee Park Boulevard, the 19th Ward. And then we're moving here. I was living in Greece.
In a previous life, I worked in Brockport for a while, and then I went to work for the Red Wings in Rochester. I closed the Silver Stadium in '96 and I wouldn't necessarily say that. And then I was part of the team that helped open it in '97. And I lived right near the Highland Diner in that area for a little while. So yeah, I think it's going to come full circle. I think my son is looking at doing an internship with the Red Wings in the summertime. So yeah, so
Yeah.
GM there is a good friend of mine. So, I've known Dan for a long. So Dan's wife Sheila and I used to work together. When I first started, I worked at a small hospital in Brockport that's now owned by Strong. And Sheila was the graphic designer on my staff. So that's the connection there. So I've known Dan for, well, almost 30 years now. So he's a good man.
Yeah, we work.
Are they?
First got the client.
Okay. Do you still have him? How was traffic today? Any problems?
Fine. I went all the way. I went up transit.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Probably took about the same amount of time, but I thought.
Yeah, probably. probably. How often do you come up here? Isn't there an office on?
Whatever your meetings happen.
Listen, I don't feel guilty, so.
Yeah, ours is right off of Maple, right in corporate.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
it's not,
Yeah,
that's not too
yeah.
bad. You get to hop right on the throughway.
Yeah, I just, it's around 30 minutes or whatever.
Okay. Yeah, when it was my first job out of college, because I'm from here
So what?
and I was
what
commuting
updates for
and I
school
tried
next year?
commuting for about 3
I don't
months
think
and
you
I
told me
went,
that.
yeah, no.
You said for college? You
Yeah.
be Anisha's and
Yeah.
and I really haven't even looked outside of. I mean, I did look at the Harvard application you sent, but still kind of.
But the worst they could do is say.
Okay.
no, and then they'll pay for it. Like, I don't, that's
Okay.
you can't lose kind of a thing.
Okay.
But UB is a great school. You know that. I have
Yeah,
a
yeah,
degree from
yeah.
them,
Yeah.
and it's the largest school in the SUNY system, and
Right,
can't beat that tuition.
right. It's good.
It's actually has a pretty study
Business.
business, yeah. So should remember that.
Right.
But yeah, they're pretty in so many things, in so many ways.
What did you study?
I was a biology major and I minored in education. Yeah, I went to school with everybody who was going to be doctors. I was the only education minor. Everybody was pre-med. I went to St. John Fisher. Sure, close to Victor, where the stone is from.
Yeah, biology, that's a hard.
Yes, it was. And it was interesting that, but it was interesting that everybody was studying, they were all pre. So let me know where you practicing medicine so I know not to come see you. Because you should have the best grades if you. I feel like people can hear me. I feel like my voice is echoing.
Yeah, I want to do pre-laws, but
They turn it off.
Giovanni, you're gonna put that lawn sign on your front lawn? So that you know, everybody knows?
my parents will love that.
Yes.
I appreciate that. Again, law school, the bar and all that.
He's late those
You
games.
should not be stressing like that. You'll get through it. No, you chip away at it.
So see,
Mhm. It's a great school though.
but like I don't really. I've tried to think of factors make me like leave state, but we just stay here. I don't know why.
Mhm. So I said I was a biology, St. John Fisher. Out of state. It was Central State University. Historically.
Where's that?
It's in Ohio. It's a HBCU. I had. So nobody in my family knew how to get there, right? I didn't have the greatest counselor. So it came time to pick colleges and friend was like, I'm going to Central State. You should come. And I'm like, sure. That's how I picked my first school. A mistake. It's down by Cincinnati, the bottom. So southern of Ohio. It's about, I don't know, 8 hours, 9 hours away. And stayed for a half a year. Which is where always a biology major. It's that being that far away from home was too.
So you always wanted to be in education?
I fought it. I had a really it's legendary, and I do like he's on a national level. Like I can pull him up.
Oh wow.
He's got TED Talks. He's like he is king of biology, and he saw that in me, pushed me in that direction, and I kept saying no, it's not what I'm going to do. I'll do biomedical engineer. Sounds like a big fancy title.
Jamie, when is your
And
trunk or
I didn't
treat?
even know what that was, I don't think.
When's your trunk or treat night?
Once I left Central, I realized, no, he's right. I,
Friday's my birthday, so my daughter's actually coming home from school, so I won't come to that one. But I am coming to, I'm doing,
take so much chemistry.
because I think chef is going to all of them, so I think I'm going to the Maple Mere one as a chef representative.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I made her
How
know.
many trunks do
So
you
it's almost
have?
summer.
That's
Do what, teach?
awesome.
Yeah. I can't.
I loved it. and I
Oh,
thought I was gonna
very
Do that
cool.
forever, never saw my
Very
trainer.
cool.
But I always,
I haven't looked. How's the weather supposed to be?
someone around me sees something
Knock on wood,
I
right?
hadn't yet realized and help me move to the next level. My most, the job.
I
liked
didn't,
the
I haven't
most,
looked.
As an educator was being school principal. And it's also the hardest of all the jobs.
It's a good, well, you're in a good position.
Work with you guys.
How come when, Mr. Baker left? I thought it would be like Mr. Bailey, like, up there. Is that not how that works?
No, that's not
Oh,
exactly how it
okay.
works. No, no, you have the job opens up.
Oh, people just apply.
Yeah.
Could have been the principal here.
I didn't say I wanted to go back.
Oh.
I didn't say that.
Still listen some days. It's like. Like you connected with students. I'm like. Hello, or good morning, beautiful people.
Mhm.
It's like a more. Snow connection,
Have him on Facebook.
social. media.
I think you should reach out to him.
I could probably reach out to him through Michelle.
Oh, yeah, yeah. I hear she's doing well in school.
I would be living. If I had to leave my senior year,
It's a rough transition, yeah.
it's a big,
It's that. You look at it?
well, this, Eric, is that?
Mhm.
Eric? Yeah, she sent me in.
Oh, nice. Nice.
School shirt. All schools don't have president.
All schools don't have what?
All schools not, because like, is this only schools like who do have president, but they're not on like the board?
They do, everybody does it a little bit differently. Some of them are president, but that doesn't necessarily have to. Buffalo did a. Rochester did a little bit, everybody does,
No.
but they are expected to have that position.
So it's the main thing to talk about. And I know it's on here, but is it mainly surrounded around?
The capital improvement.
Yeah.
It's right here. The
It's like the talking thing. It's like when I was watching them on YouTube. To say like I or something.
no, we don't. They do that. So they're all voting.
terms. Like when I was watching on YouTube, it was like hurt. I don't know how to say it. Like yeah, like saying like hi and stuff to like whoever
Yeah.
speaks.
So they vote and say. And then a second, and so somebody has to get, they
Right.
can discuss it.
Yeah, stuff like that.
So Don, what was your favorite part of Rochester? That you lived there for? What's
What
the
was
thing
my
that-
favorite part of Rochester?
What's the favorite?
I liked, it was just, well, I like being close to home, but I also liked, High Falls was just coming into kind
Oh,
of
yeah.
existence.
My cousin just got married
Uh,
there.
I like, because we
So
were so
nice.
close to it, I liked watching it kind
Yeah.
of, come up
It's
from that
really nice.
standpoint.
Yeah. She had, I mean, this was a really nice setup.
Yeah, yeah,
Brown Square or something like that.
yeah.
Okay. Summer's day.
I'm excited.
Chicken. Self in Rochester. I'll eat when you eat.
See, that's what I'll do. Like, I'll go home tonight and I'll eat. And you know, I should have eaten something, but
Yeah. Just support me. Literally went to 2 o'clock times and they have 2 a week.
a week.
Talking to, and that was like that when I was there.
Yeah,
They actually started.
yeah, no thanks.
Still doing it. So run follow them. So I,
Mhm. Yeah.
commissioners.
I can hear them.
So your parents working.
No, I walked up. Should have had it. See if
We
they
can
will.
watch it.
All right.
Give me a agenda. Would you mind? It's on it. I didn't really look all that closely. Thank you.
Yeah, I felt that.
Reading.
Oh, right. Are there any new members?
Yep. It seems fun. A couple of them are joining tomorrow. Scheduled to join the next meeting. Sent them the invite. Her name. So.
Students from all grade levels, right?
Middle school and high school.
It's hard to focus.
Yeah. To understand what.
Right, what exactly is going on?
Hello.
Mary Ann, I turned up the temperature just for you.
I heard him actually make a call.
I was playing
Oh, right
prevent
away.
defense, Mary
Oh,
Ann.
gosh.
Oh, yeah, I feel the warmth.
Lulling me to sleep now. It was cold in here. Now it's warm. Are you?
My legs.
Very nice. We're gonna spend the year together next to each other. Hi.
Ready for it.
All right. I like that enthusiasm.
Nice to meet you. I remember from the DEI committee.
All right, I was gonna say, I thought the face looked familiar when I,
Aw.
awesome. Welcome.
Danny, congratulations.
Thank you.
We had a meeting last week with ECSB to go over all the stuff for the other.
Oh,
school
yeah, yeah,
districts,
yeah.
too.
Was there a lot of discrepancies?
No, not a lot by the time they were done.
Certified everything, I think.
No,
You may want to check. but-
no, you didn't. We missed some. That was my fault. It's my fault. It's my fault. He rushed me, but it was my fault.
Yeah. I mean, I only put it up on the big screen for him.
So I had to print them all out.
Chat after the meeting.
I like that. That's cool.
Thank you.
So the best one I ever got.
Which one? Oh, yeah.
Mike, you.
Oh, there's your text.
Are you gonna
Individual
present?
leaves.
Do you want me to, or?
Yeah.
Yes?
Yeah.
Gonna leave and do some cooking.
So like a whole
And I
stack
got
of
one.
hands. Yeah, I got a couple of mine.
What is it?
How did they know what my living room looks like? Oh, my God.
Mary Ann, I got a stack of cats.
Oh, how cute.
I'm
I
gonna
got
cry.
lots of hearts.
Thank you, Willow.
I got a
Ridge.
rock.
You got nothing. Nothing.
Yeah, this is
That's why I
pretty,
said ready.
pretty nice.
My favorite line's Dad.
I'm
it's Carson.
Spelled my
glad
name wrong.
somebody got it.
And it must not have been your son. They spelled my name wrong.
Ravenville,
No, I thought
Rennie
myself.
Bowl.
Rennieville.
Yeah, that's very nice. Thank you.
Oh, boy.
Ready?
We're ready.
Okay, just wanted to thank you for waiting, our apologies. So just wanted to let everybody know, we called the meeting to order at 6:04. We did the pledge and the roll call and then immediately adjourned into executive session at 6:05 for employment history of specific individuals, and we adjourned the executive session at 6:55. And now I believe I turn it over to Fallon for our oath of office for our ex officio member, Javon Coleman. Did I pronounce that right?
Yes,
Javon?
you did.
Okay.
Are you the proud parents?
Oh. I was gonna say, I, Javon Coleman, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New York, and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of student ex officio of the Sweet Home Board of Education according to the best of my ability.
Right.
Congratulations, Javon. And I should also note, our vice president is in attendance tonight, Summer Mack. Javon will fulfill the duties very well, but Summer is also, a rock star here at Sweet Home, and has been involved in so many things I can't even count, but we're very happy to have her here tonight too. So congratulations to you both on winning the election, and we're very happy to have you.
Okay, approval of the agenda. Do we have any comments? We'll be voting on the minutes. We'll be voting on the on this next week, and then any comments on minutes from the previous meeting, we will also be voting on them as well next week. So anything on the agenda or the minutes? Nope. Okay. Does anyone have any communications to share?
I'm going to talk a little bit about a conversation I had with County Legislator Chris Green. Just in my rounds, I guess. I had a conversation with him about the sidewalk on Sweet Home Road and the turning lane in front of Heritage Heights. He had and he has reached out to the town of Amherst, Brian Culp's office, to see if they can coordinate something with the county to resolve those two issues. He also asked that if needed, would the school district write a letter to support any help we can get through the town and the county? And both Don Feldman and Mike Genestri said they're more than happy to do that. I may ask for that in advance of anything, but I appreciate your help with that. So that's all I had. I thought that was a good piece of information, someone willing to help with that, so.
And I will say we've received plenty of emails and phone calls from parents from Heritage Heights about that. So definitely something that's on our radar, and appreciate you reaching out, Mr. Ravenel.
Okay, we have no unfinished business, so Dr. Genestri, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Mr. Belanti. Tonight, we're joined by Randy from Bonadeo Group, who's going to give you our financial statements audit report presentation. And I know Randy met with the audit committee last week, and we're ready to present to the board tonight.
Great. Thank you. Good evening, everybody. Thanks for having me. Yes, this is Bonadeo's first audit with the district. We won the audit RFP this year, and we do appreciate you choosing us as your audit firm. And we enjoyed working through this first year audit with you. And as the superintendent stated, we did meet in great detail to go over all the documents you have in front of you with management to get them ready to this point. We went through them as well with the audit committee in great detail last week. These are final issued statements. So at any point, again, even after this meeting, if you've got questions, feel free to reach out to me. Mr. Feldman has my contact information. I'd be happy to address any questions that I can. So the purpose of today is really just to give some highlights for you so you kind of can get a flavor for what we did and what the results of the audit was. So I'm going to start with the letter that's right on top of that packet of information. This is what's called a required communications letter. And as the name implies, there's certain things that we're required to communicate to the board as part of our audit process. Because as you may or may not know, we are engaged by the Board of Education to complete the work. Although we work with management to get that job done, we are employed by you. And so our responsibility is to this body. So the way this letter is laid out, there's a bold caption beneath that explains what that's about. And the italicized bold beneath that is kind of our response or commentary relative to that item. And I'll just touch on these briefly as we go through. The first one talks about accounting practices and accounting policies and essentially just indicates that the district is responsible for selecting the accounting policies that they use. Our job is to make sure that those are appropriate and they follow the appropriate standards. There was one new accounting standard this year related to compensated absences, which was implemented, and we worked through the district with the district to do that. Everything else was the same as last year, no other changes in accounting policies or practices. At the bottom of the page, it talks about accounting estimates and that every financial statement has some element of estimation within it. The significance of that estimate may change. We identify 4 estimates. There's one bullet point at the bottom of page 1, which is depreciation. So that's the estimated useful life of the assets that you have. So the building we're in, the buses, and all the other stuff that you use to provide education to the students. Top of the next page, the 3 other estimates are your net pension liability, which essentially is your share of the state's pension obligation. The other post-employment benefits obligation, which is the retiree healthcare you provide after employees leave the employee of the district. There's an estimate related to that. And then lastly, compensated absences. So we review all those methods and assumptions and make sure that they're reasonable in relation to the statements. And then there's 2 sensitive disclosures related to the pension plan and OPEB. The reason they're sensitive is they're actuarially based. And if you understand actuarial science, they changed numbers very small. Those can have big impacts on the numbers themselves. So that's why they're considered quote unquote sensitive. So we make sure that those are all appropriate. Difficulties encountered in performing the audit. Again, as I said at the outset, we work for you. So if we couldn't get our job done, this is where we would display that to you. But the audit went well. It may have taken a little bit longer this year as the first year. There's a lot of stuff we had to get through, but I think it went very well, worked very well. And I want to thank Nicole and Don and everybody we worked with during the audit process to get that done. We do have at the end of this letter, which we'll look at, some adjustments that were booked as part of the audit, both on our part as well as the district's part. And then we did have an adjustment related to 101, that new standard that we deemed not to be material to push back to the prior year, as the standard would imply, and we just recorded it through the current year. We had no disagreements with management during the course of the audit. And then continuing on page 3, excuse me, we received a representation letter which allowed us to issue these statements in final form, and we're not aware of any opinion shopping with other accounting firms based on matters that may have come up. And then the last item just to talk about here is other findings and issues, which just talks about the fact that during the year, the district may contact us and ask us questions. Those questions are not a condition of our retention. And in fact, this year, our retention, as I said, was part of an RFP process, which is important to note. So if we look at the last 2 pages, page 5 is Exhibit A. And the way we like to do this is we summarize the adjustments between client adjustments or audit adjustments. And we start with what we call the unaudited figures. So in case you had seen some preliminary figures, we wanted you to be able to reconcile that to what you saw in the audited financial statements. And you see a number of adjustments that were provided to us after we started the audit. And then we had a few adjustments there in the general fund, one of which was just to correct the reserves. They have to be posted as revenue and expenditures as they happen, as opposed to directly to fund balance. So it really was just a reclass for that purpose, no change in the bottom line at the end of the day. And then just some adjustments related to BOCES receivable. That's that 219,000, which is what that was for. And those invoices sometimes come late. Capital Projects Fund, one adjustment that was provided to us. Miscellaneous Special Revenue Fund, we had an adjustment to bring the extra classroom activity, which was previously recorded as a fiduciary activity or custodial activity, into the general fund, which is where it should be. It's actually activities of the district, even though you can't use those funds for your operations. They really are operations of the district. And so we record that there. And then the last page, you can see the 2 funds there, no audit adjustments. So overall, very good summary, very good information. And I always like to point out when there's very little journal entries, because you're making decisions throughout the year based on financial information that you receive from the finance office. You want to know that that information is accurate and reliable. If I came in here at the end of the year and had 25 adjustments, you'd have to question what you're receiving. So suffice it to say, you're getting good information through the year to make the decisions you need to make operationally. Okay. The next document, which we won't go through in detail, is the actual audited financial statements. And you hire us to provide an opinion on that. And I will just point out that that's on page 1 of that document. Right in the second paragraph, it says, in our opinion, the statements present fairly in all material respects the financial position of the district. So that's an unmodified or clean opinion. That's the highest level of assurance that we give as an audit firm. So that's important for you to receive. And then there's a couple other things to point out. If you look at page 45 of that document, that is the budget to actual schedule. Can't tell if this is still on. It doesn't sound like it is.
It kicks on and off.
Okay.
Just keep going.
So the budget to actual schedule, this is always helpful to look at to see, what you anticipated as your budget, what your actual expenditures and revenues were for the year, and then what your variance to budget was. So overall, you did use some reserves this year to help balance some costs that were in place, but you didn't use the entirety of what you anticipated when you established your budget at the beginning of the year, which is essentially what this is showing for you. So, and then lastly, on page 50 is the calculation which shows where the district is relative to, there it is, relative to the 4% calculation for the state. So you're at 3.4%. And as you know, the requirements under the state ed law is 4%. So you're within that threshold, which is a plus for you. Any questions on that document at all? Okay. There's just a few other things that are in your packet that I'll just mention. I think the next one should be a single, I think is a single sheet. It may not be. Trying to think. I'm looking at Don, what he's got there.
I have the extra classroom funds,
Okay.
statements, and then the
Okay.
management letter for
Yeah,
that.
there might be one thing that we did issue. I'll make sure that the board gets a copy of it. We did not actually have a formal management letter for the district itself, so we did not find any material weaknesses or significant deficiencies. So we issued a report that basically said we didn't have anything. That allows Don and Nicole to submit that to the state to satisfy that. But I will make sure that that gets to you electronically and you have that document. And then the other two are just the extra classroom financial statements and the extra classroom management letter. No surprises in the extra classroom financial statements. That gives you all the detail on a cash basis for what the balance is, about 136,000 at year end. And then by program or by club, broken out between the high school, the middle school, and then the other clubs that exist. So feel free to take a look at that at your leisure. And then the last document is that management letter. And we just had a couple suggestions relative to extra classroom funds. I mean, overall, I think they're operated very well. While we did have a couple what we call findings, they're not of a significant nature, and we generally find things in most of our districts. This is actually a lot smaller than we normally would see. So kudos to you on that. The one that we identified is just oftentimes when you make a disbursement with extra classroom, there's a portion on the left that says, what's your available funds, how much you're spending, what's the ending funds? That wasn't always filled out. And that's one of the most important things to determine, can I make this expenditure or not? And then lastly, elementary level extra classroom funds. We include this in here just as an observation. It's unclear in the guidance whether you can or cannot have an extra classroom fund at the elementary level. It talks about schools with education above the sixth grade. And so the implication might be that elementary level students don't have the right level of education and skill set to really balance checkbooks, things like that. So you have them. It's ultimately a board of education responsibility, whether you want to take on that risk and whether you have the controls in place. Our role is just to bring that to your attention. It's not something that we're saying you have to fix or have to change. It's just our way of bringing forth to you information that we think is important. So
I'll just add on those
Yeah.
two accounts. They're both at Glendale, the Glendale Library Helpers and the Glendale Phys Ed Club. They've been long in place. They were in place before I took the seat here. There's minimal activity on them. From that standpoint, there's about $1,600 or so, if memory serves, between the two accounts. They still are used. It's, Randy makes a good point. It's something that we'll have to kind of take into consideration going forward. But we can have that conversation at a separate time.
Do the elementary PTAs have to use special guidelines for raising money and going through this audit or accounting practice of any
PTAs
kind?
are their standalone. We don't deal with them at all.
right.
Is that something maybe these elementary groups can move into or add on to? That's something the PTA is doing? If
The
again, if
district
it's-
wouldn't fund it, but sure, they could have somebody look at their books at any point in time.
I have a quick question for you
Sure.
again. I don't think it was last year, but the past few years before that, it seems like we were always getting dinged for not closing accounts when the kids were done with it.
Mhm.
Have we gotten better at that?
Yeah, we closed, if you remember in July, I think we closed 4 or 5. There were some clubs, and actually in the process of the audit, Randy and his team had made some suggestions about some that didn't have activities, but we had, like, there was one where, the teacher was out for an extended period of time. So we kind of had some back and forth from that standpoint. But we do a much better job. Every June or July, we usually close those out. So we did close out 4 or 5 this past year.
Are we still doing with the kids, the education about how to run these? 'Cause
Yeah,
I know we started that a
yeah.
few years ago.
So my secretary, Ariel Carlino, is the treasurer of the central treasurer of the accounts. And she and I visit with all of the advisors. They have to go through a mandated training. And then we meet all the student advisors as well, to walk them through and what's expected. There is a 3-step process on it. Like if they want to make any deposit or withdrawals, there's a student treasurer signature that's got to be on the slip. There's got to be the club advisor and then the building administrator. And if we don't have those, we send them back. So we've been very diligent about that.
Any other questions?
Can I ask a little, something from the beginning of the conversation here, if you don't mind?
Sure.
Call them legacy costs, post-retirement health insurance. Do we have any of that?
You do, yeah. You have an obligation for retiree healthcare that is recorded on your books. There's if
that
you want to
isn't-
look at some point, it is footnote 11 to the financial statements. So that gives you all the detail. So that would be on page 36 of that document. So
Okay.
it gives you what that is, what your annual cost is on a basis. So from a fund level, from your annual obligations, you pay those premiums on an annual basis. That's the cost that hits your district budget. What's in the financial statements in this footnote is your total estimated obligation if the district were to close today, essentially.
So you, like, if it's a present value of some kind of actuarial calculation on people that have retired, that it's still entitled to some benefit?
Correct. It looks at how old they are, what their estimated,
Can you give me that number? What is the number?
let's see, I will let you know.
It's on page 36.
So, but it's,
7.6 million is the obligation at June 30, 25.
okay. All right. But again, that's for a future. pay.
That's for future, right? On an annual basis, your outflow is. Let's see. Is that number? I don't see that number right off the top of my head, but I'm sure Don and Nicole can provide that to you.
That's good enough. Thank you. I
You're
didn't know
welcome.
we had any, but thank you. Okay.
Thanks, Randy.
You're welcome.
Yeah, it was.
Thank you
looked
for
like it
letting me
was
present.
3.2
Have a good evening.
million. The deferred.
Just for the good of the board, you'll vote on these next week. And then we have to submit them to SED as part of the process. And then there will be a corrective action plan down the line based upon the findings in the related to the extra classroom accounts that you'll also vote on. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Safe travels.
Just a quick side note too, as Dr. Jester mentioned before, we did meet last week with him. Brian and I and one of our community members, Bill Stoy, along with the admin and Nicole here, we met with them last week and went over everything in there. And a few minor things that we had, they were happy to correct for us, get back to us. Nothing out of the ordinary, Randy.
You almost made it. All right. We want to take a moment to recognize that this is Board of Education Recognition Week, and we want to, in front of you are some cards that were put together by our friends at Willow Ridge Elementary School to thank the board for their work. It is tireless, it is voluntary, and it is critical to the overall mission and vision of our district. So I know all of us at district office truly appreciate your support and appreciate your guidance. Your voice of the community is critical to our operation here, and we just want to say thank you for all you do. Thank you for volunteering to make our district great, and the work you do definitely drives us all and motivates us all. So thank you on behalf of all of us at district office, and congratulations on Board of Education Recognition Week.
Thank you.
Um,
Pretty cute.
part of this, I'm happy to announce that a tradition before I got to the district, we want to reignite a tradition. It's called Employee Meet the Board Night, and we're going to hold that on November 18th at 5 p.m. in the Virgil, right here in Virgil's. It will be a very casual conversation with our employees here. We'll have refreshments, and I know I've heard about this event, and I'm very happy that the board is supportive to bring it. And I think it'll be a great way to connect with any employee who wishes to join us that night. So November 18th, 5 p.m. in Virgil's right here, right before our regular board meeting on the 18th. So last month, as you know, we've been working on getting the word out regarding our capital project. And I had we spent the month finalizing our marketing materials. And we wanted to present some of those at least to you tonight, to know that we've been out at PTA, PTO meetings, and getting the word out and presenting to our public. Sorry, I've lost in addition to the microphone, this is Valentine too, but back. Oh, there it is. Okay. So we've been to Heritage Heights, Glendale, Maple Mere, and the high school. We still have the middle school, Willow Ridge, and those two to go. So the receptions have been very welcoming, and we appreciate the time because those meetings, they have a lot of business to discuss at those meetings, and they've been gracious to give us some time. So the two other public forums that we're going to do are on Monday, November 24th at 6:30 in the high school auditorium, and Wednesday, December 10th at 6:30 in the middle school auditorium. I just want to show the board quickly that this presentation is available on our website. So if you go to the homepage, you will see this presentation. We are excited to bring transformational change through this project to Sweet Home. I think one of the things that we're really proud of is that this is not a project that was built by even the board or district office. This was really done through a lot of community input, through our thought exchange and subsequent focus groups. They know our community knows our enrollment continues to climb. In any project, we also want to make sure that we're addressing maintenance items. And of course, we remain fiscally responsible to our community. And I think what we're really proud of is the amount of community input that was available to build this project and to build the scope. In 2023, we did a thought exchange platform where we had 756 participants give us their thoughts on the facilities and our campuses. We had 635 unique thoughts that were given to us by our community, and those thoughts had included 20,413 ratings. And then we took those words and created 14 in-person focus groups that included students, parents, board members, administrators, teachers, faculty members, staff members, and they gave us a lot of great data to go through. And bigger classrooms, additional parking spaces, better spaces for special ed, storage space, PE, gym renovations, and safety and security were the main items that our community wanted in this project. And we're very confident this project includes that. We've gone over enrollment figures with our community and shown the increases at the elementary level. We're up to, as of September 9th, I think it was, 1,832 students in pre-K through 5. That is just 3 years ago, we were at 1,588. And we expect those numbers to continue to climb. We're at 37 total with pre-K through 12, 3,784 students. That was as of September 12th. By the end of the year, that number will exceed last year's number of 3,803 as more students continue to move in. So increase in enrollment is an issue. And then the BCS, the Building Condition Survey. Any good project will address maintenance items like roofs, HVAC, fire alarms, boilers, access controls. And there are many items in our BCS that are called end-of-life items. And that survey is done every 5 years by our architects. Our architects identify items that need to be replaced, fixed, or maintained. And there are plenty of items, like I said, all included in Proposition 1. Those end-of-life items are included in Proposition 1 of this capital project to make sure that our buildings continue to be well maintained. So at the end of the day, we wanted to accomplish 3 things. We want to add learning space because our community is demanding it, and at the elementary level especially, where it is crowded at places like Maplemere, Glendale, and Heritage. Maintain safe and secure and reliable facilities, the BCS items, and investing in athletics and community pride. That was a common theme we heard at the elementary level and here at the high school. So on the screen, you will see on December 16th, our voters will have 2 propositions in front of them. Proposition 1 is for $55.2 million of work. It focuses on additions at Maplemere, Heritage Heights, and Glendale Elementary. We're proposing 10 total classrooms be built across those 3. It would be 6 at Maplemere, 2 at Heritage, 2 at Glendale. That also includes, and I'll get into it in a minute, our BCS items and some renovation work in the elementary level. And it also includes a big ticket item, which is a roof at the middle school, which is at end of life. So that roof needs to be replaced. In Proposition 2 is $35.3 million, and it does include a tax impact of $64 per $250,000 home value. But this would include critical work that our community identified, including enhancements in elementary spaces. So a lot of renovations, hallways, classrooms, casework, paint, light, those sort of things. Gym upgrades at all 4 elementary schools. If you've been in our gyms at the elementary level, they have not been touched in many, many years. And then a turf replacement and athletic facility improvements. The current turf is at end of life, and our track is at end of life as well. So like I said, Proposition 2, our taxpayers will have a choice that night to vote on what could be a $64 increase, one-time increase. So for example, if your tax bill is $1,000 in 27-28, your tax bill would go up $64. And if the board decided not to raise taxes in 28-29, your tax bill would remain at $1,064. So like you said, the third piece was fiscal responsibility. We're using state aid. We have debt service that's falling off that we're able to put the $55.2 million project in to replace that debt service, and we're using $3 million of capital reserve funds to keep Proposition 1 tax neutral. So if the taxpayers vote on Proposition 1 and they approve Proposition 1, their taxes will not increase. Proposition 2 allows us to do that additional $35 million worth of work with the $64 one-time increase. So again, our 3 key priority areas: adding learning space, maintaining safe and secure facilities, and investing in athletics and community pride. We're looking to transform our classrooms, and the big piece of it would be the additions. So that is a look at Maplemere right now. We wanted to emphasize that might not be what it looks like. This is a rendering when the addition is completed, but we wanted to emphasize that we are proposing additions. Maplemere is currently over capacity in terms of state ed in that facility. And so they have green lighted the additions. Green lighting mean they will provide aid to us on those additions at about $63 or 63 cents per dollar. So at Glendale, we would add 2 classrooms. Proposition 1 is the addition of 2 classrooms, a library renovation, playground improvements. We have to improve our playgrounds to include UPK, and we would like to put adaptive equipment on there to make them more inclusive for our families. Proposition 2 at Glendale would include classroom renovations, paint, casework, flooring, window blinds, etc., corridor improvements, and the big one, gymnasium renovations, which need to be done, refinishing the floors, paint, and basketball hoops. Heritage Heights, very similar, 2 classrooms, a library renovation and playground improvements in Proposition 1. Proposition 2, classroom renovations, corridor improvements, gymnasium renovations, and in Heritage Heights are pods, and in the middle of the pods, that casework needs to be improved tremendously. The cabinetry is original in there and in need of repair. Maplemere would see the addition of 6 classrooms, a library renovation and playground improvements as well. If Proposition 2 passes, classroom renovations, corridor improvement, gymnasium renovations, and the addition of a bathroom in the 100 wing. Willow Ridge is the only one that did not qualify for additions based on its enrollment. However, if Proposition 1 does pass, we would renovate the library, playground improvements, and flooring in the classrooms needs to be replaced at Willow Ridge. Proposition 2 would also include classroom renovations and corridor improvements and the gym as well. My apologies that that's not on there. And then at Sweet Home High School, we would ask the board, or our public, we would move the Ready Academy from Dexter Terrace over to this space that we're currently in, and district office would move over to Dexter. We would really like to get our students, those are high school age students, back here at the high school so they could take advantage of the full resources that are offered here in this building. And then the renovation at Dexter Terrace to accommodate district office. Maintaining safe and secure and reliable facilities include critical upgrades to roofs, boilers, HVAC, fire alarms, access controls. And so if we invest in these now, they will prevent us and save us money in the future. So Glendale needs a roof as well. New exit lighting, upgrading the exterior building access controls, HVAC work. The rooftop units need to be replaced, new boilers as well. And if Proposition 2 passes, we would put interior door access controls. So classroom door and hardware replacements would take place. At Heritage Heights, Proposition 1, upgrading the exterior building access controls, new boilers for the building that are end of life, and a water cooler replacements throughout the building. Proposition 2 would also include the classroom door and hardware replacements. Maplemere, similar, upgrading the exterior access controls, a cooling system and chiller replacement. We know that the state passed a heat law or a heat bill that requires us to not have a class that's over 88 degrees. So we are very fortunate at Sweet Home to have air conditioning, and we have to maintain that air conditioning. They need parking improvements, so we would pave the front loop, as well provide additional parking and sidewalk repairs. And if Proposition 2 passes, again, classroom door and hardware replacements. Safe and security for Willow Ridge, upgrade to building access controls, cooling system, and chiller replacement. You will remember that not this summer, but last summer, Willow Ridge experienced a mold issue. And so we want to provide drainage improvements over there and try and reduce the humidity that's under the building. Proposition 2 would include the classroom door and hardware replacements. And then the big one at Sweet Home Middle, the roofing replacements, which about 13 million. And that's in Proposition 1. Every time we put that slide up, Don and I choke a little bit.
I chuckle a little.
At Dexter, we would relocate district office, provide secure entrance, upgrade the fire alarm, which is at fire control panel, which is at end of life. The cooling system needs to be replaced, exit lighting, and additional parking, which would make our neighbors at Dexter very, very happy. And then as you know, we are mandated to flip our buses to electric by 2035. And so to prepare for that, the district, through the board support, is well on its way to making that transition through a lot of grants and EPA grants and that sort of thing. And so Don, I don't know if you want to talk about this one.
We've been, as you know, we've been very fortunate to be able to get as much grant funding as we've gotten in terms of both buses and now chargers. This is, so we are at a point now, we have 3 chargers at our service center right now for our 3 buses. Our electrical service and our panel there cannot take any more electricity to it. So one of the things that we're going to do for the next round of buses, the 4 that we're due to get, and then the 4, if the budget passes next year, we're gonna do chargers off the gym at the high school to be able to make those work, because we can fit that into the existing service. But to get to where we need to transform, transition to all 68 of our buses to electrical vehicles, we do need to do an electrical service upgrade to the service center. So that is in proposition number 1. There is opportunity for grant funding on that. I've met with the National Grid, our rep at National Grid, Jacob Beeman. Jacob, as part of the Make Ready program, there is funding that National Grid would pay for 90% of the work done from the utility to the building, and the district would be responsible for the remaining 10%. And then work that's done inside of the building, they are advocating to NYSERDA right now to allow for grant funding to be released where we would split those costs. So I'm on a state advocacy group, I guess, from that standpoint. And I've written a letter to NYSERDA to ask them to consider that. National Grid feels as though that's a matter of time that that's going to go through. So long story short, to say that that proposition or that work under the proposition is about $1.3 million. I think that we might be able to get maybe 50 to 60% of it funded through grant funding. Yes.
With the timeframe things, do you think it will fit within the timeframe of the contract so that we potentially could look at extra items that get added to extra bid items like we did with the auditorium down here?
Oh, sure. Yeah. So like if we get to a point where, if there was a successful vote in December, on December 16th, we'd then begin the design phase, and then, we go through a period of checks with state ed, 90 days, 180 days, et cetera, into that. So, but at that point in time, I would think, and I apologize, I didn't bring the stuff here, but I would think probably maybe a year or so from now that we would go into the bid process, and we would do the bids, and we would structure the bids with alternates included in them. Just depending upon how things came, out in terms of the bid, that's how we were able to do things like the auditorium. So we are working with our staff. I met with the custodians last week and said, start to think about at least 3 things, because I shared with them this presentation. Start to think of at least 3 or 4 things in your buildings that aren't in the scope that you would want to see as potential alternates from that standpoint. And we're going to build that to be able to try and fit some things in that might not otherwise have been in the scope.
Okay. Well, thank you.
I'd also like to say that we continue to hear that, and thank you for your support with this, that Sweet Home is really leading the way with this. Don will be presenting in New York City for the New York State School Boards Association convention next week. And Don and I will be presenting to Erie One superintendents on October 30th. And I got the request today that we bring a bus to that meeting. So Erie One superintendents can see a bus in action. But I feel like we're really ahead of the game. And because of the efforts of Don and his office, we're actually saving money in this so far. We have a long way to go to flip the entire fleet, but at the end of the day, our aggressive approach and your support in that aggressive approach is netting us good financial terms to make this conversion work.
So there are opportunities, and if you remember when we went through the budget process last year, there's some language tied to this mandate in the budget that allows the districts to apply for extensions to this mandate. I haven't looked at it all that closely to push it out potentially 2 years, but I think we talked about this in our budgetary process. And the next project that falls off for us as in 2031. It will not nearly be this scope, level of scope. But I think that that would be potentially our last kick at the can to get the service center electrified within a capital project from that standpoint. Because I'm just being honest, while the funding is there now, I don't know how much longer it will last.
Then investing in athletics and community pride. Proposition 2 would include gym renovations at our 4 elementary schools, which are in desperate need of those renovations. Flooring, paint, hoops, all, especially the hoops really are at end of life that need to be done. And Heritage Heights in addition has a if you've been in the back, there is a track. If you dig your way to it, there is a track out there that needs to be replaced, and we will replace that track in the back of the school.
Dr. Nestor, if I just might, that was one, Mr. Johnson, to your point, one of the things that we didn't look at in terms of scope for the middle school was the middle school track. So that would be something that, it wasn't near critical end of life in the building condition survey, because we've addressed kind of critical things here in this project. But that would be something, and we've talked briefly about it, to maybe look at it doing as part of a capital outlay project going forward. But that would be one of the things for me that I would want to see included as part of an alternate.
Someone who's walked out, I would agree with that.
Yeah. Sorry, Dr. Nestor.
No, thank you. So Proposition 2, the athletic field at the high school, like I said before, the existing turf needs to be replaced. The outdoor track is at end of life. But we'd also propose adding turf to the existing grass baseball and softball fields, give our students more opportunities to play in the spring. Add lights, dugouts, fencing, scoreboards to the baseball and softball field, add walkways and a ticket booth for easier access and entrance to the athletic fields. And this would be a rendering of our concept of what the back could look like if our voters approve this on December 16th. If you'll notice at the football field, the current football field, behind it right now is the baseball and the softball field, and we would look to add field hockey or flag football back there. The softball field is behind the track. That has lighting, dugouts, bleachers. So does the baseball field, lighting, dugouts, and scoreboards, sorry. And then the track, our current track is black, but we put it in brown here to emphasize that would be a new track there. And E would be where we'd want to place the ticket booth and walkways. So once again, 2 propositions, December 16th for our voters. Proposition 1 is 55.2 million. It is tax neutral. It includes those high priority items. And Proposition 2 at 35.3 million includes renovations, critical renovations to our elementary spaces and gyms, our athletic facility at the high school, and would have a $64 per $250,000 home tax impact one time. So invite the public to our forums. On the first one's November 24th. Of course, if you are, we still have the middle school and Willow Ridge PTA, PTO, which I know are open to everybody. But the large public forums will be on the 24th at 6:30 p.m. at the high school and December 10th at 6:30 p.m. at the middle school. That QR code will take you to our website, and we'll have this presentation plus additional information for you. And we ask that everyone in our community votes on December 16th from 7 a.m. to 9 p.m., just like you would do at budget night. But we'll be here at Virgil's, and we hope to get a great turnout that night.
I would just add, with the vote in December, again, like we would go through the design phase next with SCD. If we get through the design phase in a relatively smooth amount of time and their review is quick, I would think that we would have shovels in the ground likely the summer of 2027. And I did look, the bids January 2027.
Okay, cool.
Just
Thank
from
you.
that standpoint.
Any questions? I know I kind of went through it fast. I know we've presented on this a few times, but I wanted to show you and our public the entire presentation and make sure that that we answer any questions you may have.
Dr. Janustri, just to, just another couple of part of communication pieces. Ms. Lyle has been working on a postcard that's going to go home later this week to all of our district residents with that QR code on it with information about the public forums as well as the vote. So every house in the district will receive that. It's going to go out in the mail hopefully by the end of the week in advance of each of those. And then around the 2nd of December in the mailboxes will be a special edition of the Sweet Home Source that will give the project in detail from that standpoint. So we will be sure to make sure we check all the communication boxes as well for our public.
And you also have this in front of you, and I know we have these around the district as well that provide all the information needed, including the QR code to our website. And I know we're producing a video that will go out
We are.
to the public as well. So hit all avenues. And again, we are excited. This is certainly the largest capital project by more than double that the district has ever proposed, but provides much needed items for our students. And we're really, really excited about the proposition of this. Question? Okay. Back to the presentation. So a couple of just quick other items. Our annual, I always give a shout out to our annual Dollars for Scholars Craft Fair. It's this Saturday from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. in the gym. Nearly 120 crafters will be there. If you haven't gone, it's a pretty crazy event.
Roaring time.
Yes, so there's something for everybody there for sure. And of course, all the proceeds go to the Sweet Home Dollars for Scholars program, which gave out nearly 110 scholarships last year at $108,000 in awards. So we hope to see you there on Saturday. And that's what I have for tonight. Thank
I
you.
could just add one thing.
Yes.
Of things to do this Friday, Buffalo Choral Arts is teaming up with some of our high school students to do a concert at 7:30. Everybody's welcome. Come on down, support the kids.
Yeah.
This proves to be a great night. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Maloney.
Okay, next up is our, the proposed bylaw amendments and resolutions. Mr. Johnson, do you want me to just, do you want to do this or do you want?
Sure, I can do it.
Okay, because I know you know which ones we need to specifically talk about, so,
I got a bunch of papers here that I'm working with too at the same time.
okay.
For our audience on TV who may not be aware of this, the New York State School Boards Association collects resolutions which help develop their policies for legislative issues every year. And they have an annual business meeting, which is this coming Thursday, where every school district has the right to have a representative there to vote on these things, to give the direction to the state school boards. When they do this each year, they send out a list of resolutions. They've had a committee review them. There's a bunch that have been recommended by the committee, and then there's others that were not recommended by the committee. That's part of the process. And there's also this year a few bylaws that have been suggested to be changed. And what I want to do is we need to go through each of these so that I know how our board feels so that I can vote on this stuff on Thursday when we have the meeting. We did take an advance one, just a quick one, but I'm obviously everything, we need to make sure everybody gets their word, their voice in here, but I've already got a rough idea where everybody goes. I forgot about the bylaw parts when we did it, so that's not in the stuff that we did. So if you've seen the bylaws, again, they were posted. The committee recommended not passing any of the bylaw changes. I can give you a little bit of background on some of them. A couple of them they're looking for reports from the board of directors on a bi-weekly basis or weekly basis, if I remember right, going back and forth. And as it stands now, the executive director sends out a report at least once a week, sometimes more frequently than that, of the various things that are going on with NYSBA. The legislative group also sends out information every week about very specific issues and things that they're looking to do in places where all the board members can help them on that. So the committee felt that there would just be, more work than they need. They're already doing that type of work. Why would you add to it, and what would you add to it? That was number one, and pretty much number three. Yeah, pretty much number 3. And number 2 on the proposed bylaws was put forward to, they want to eliminate the resolutions committee, which spends, it's a multi-part process. They spend, the first one, I think, is in early August, if I remember right. I served on it a couple of years, including chairing it. They sit down, there's one from every NISBA region around the state, plus somebody from the big 5 schools, plus several representatives from NISBA who do not get to vote, but they get to answer questions about the stuff. They review each of their resolutions there. If there's any questions about them, any school district that submitted a resolution has to have a representative there to answer phone calls about, so they can answer what was intended behind that resolution, if there's some there, or if they need to make a minor modification to it to move forward. That happens every year. And then after they go through the initial vote, each school district has a right to send more stuff to it. If it was not recommended, they have the right to be able to try and make some changes to it to get the committee to recommend it and stuff like that. So that's pretty much the process. It is broken down in here. We'll go through that. But I guess I would start with the bylaws, and we didn't get a chance to vote on them, so I mean, I'm curious where everybody falls on them.
I had mine, I think, agree. I still don't like the way they do the wording of these things,
Yeah.
that not agree
Well,
with,
bylaws weren't on our
but,
vote.
but I still said.
Okay. I'm sorry, I don't have all
I
the
don't
other
have
stuff.
it. I agreed with the ones they said not to recommend.
Okay. Yeah, I know the reason why they put it out that way. What we really need to do is it's a yes or no, and each one is basically what it comes down to. Because the only reason they do them separate is because they look at the recommended ones first, and then the not recommended ones come after that. They go through a different process to get to the floor when we
Okay.
actually vote. But anybody got any?
Same thing. I agreed with what they are recommending.
Not
Same here.
recommend,
I agree with the recommendation of.
not
the
recommend.
committee.
Okay. Anyone else?
I'm going with the will of the board. Looks like 4 of you said, go with it. Go with it.
I'm sorry, I didn't, I was looking
I
down
said,
to
I'm
figure out
going
where I was
with the
gonna
will
write.
of the board. 4 of you said, go with it.
Okay.
Go with it.
We, this past week, Dirk and I attended this is the first, a resolutions dinner, snacks, what have you, just to sit down for Erie County Association of School Boards, because a lot of school districts in the past have not actually done what we do here. They just assign the representative and say, go ahead, you can make the decision, rather than letting their whole board go on it. So this was a chance for those people to come in, plus a few people who were on the resolutions committee from other areas, one from Region 3 and actually our representative from Region 1 who's in Lockport schools. So they get to provide a little bit more input to the process too. And I thought that worked out well.
Scott Johnson will be back on the resolutions committee.
Yeah, I'm back on next year for 3 years again.
Wow.
Yeah. Anyway, okay, that brings me up to the actual resolutions, and let's see.
And by the way, the group there did vote no or against or agree with the no.
Yeah, they
vote.
also opposed, yes.
They opposed.
Sorry. Got to make sure I get where I'm going for any comments. The first 4 resolutions, we all agreed on that. Does anybody feel the need to discuss any of those?
I would, if it's okay with the board, I would say anything that is a unanimous or 5-1. We are is that okay with everybody, that we don't need to discuss them?
I'm good with that.
Unless there's a discussion marked on it, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
that makes sense to me. I'm good with that. The first one we had a discussion on was number 5. And I'm not sure who asked for the discussion.
Well, I think there was one undecided, is what I have in the tally.
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm looking at the wrong, yeah, it's number 6 at any discussion. No, that was a disagree. Looking at the wrong line, I'm sorry.
Number 6?
Okay, number 6, 5, and 1, okay, I'm looking back and forth between 3 sheets of paper here.
Great.
So yeah, there was just an undecided on that one, and you said, everybody said 5-1 is good too, right?
Yes.
It's just- So we need to come down to number 8 then, from Binghamton. That was 3-2.
Yeah, that was the one, if you don't have it, it's the advocating the number of lockdown drills reduced from 4 to 2 every year.
I put that I don't agree we should do that. That was one of the no's. That, if anything, I'd love to raise it, but certainly don't take away from it. And being on the safety committee, I think it's vitally important that we continue with the number at least that we're doing.
I think the committee itself that Scott and I were on decided that it's not flexible enough for the districts. I mean, it's not telling you can't do 4, but 2 is kind of like the baseline. So that's why I agreed with it, and I think the committee agreed with it.
Yeah, that was pretty much the discussion it with ECASB, is if, take it down to 2 as a minimum, but if your district wanted to do more, you could continue to do more. And then there was some other comments that that they could bring it up so that if you actually had to have one of these things in real life, which most school districts unfortunately do, that would count as one of your drills if you had the real life one. I think nobody directly said it, but I wouldn't be surprised if one of those items comes up as an amendment to this resolution.
I was gonna say, the way it's written now, I don't agree with it, but then you add, at least have a minimum, I might go for that. But as it's written, nah.
My concern would be if you go down to 2 and say, well, you can have more. If there's only 2 mandated, you've checked those boxes. Do you have to do more? No, you don't have to. So we don't have time. We're not going to do it. So my concern would be that we wouldn't, but on the flip side of that, I can see doing it too many times becomes the boy who cried wolf, right? Like, so I defer.
I thought was interesting. They said, there's like 24, the kids that I think though, through the years, they get a number of these, right? I
Yeah.
mean, there's like 24 by 5th grade, 52 by the end of 12th grade. And, you wonder what's the emotional impact after, these. Yeah, I
We
mean,
have a student here. Why don't we ask our students how they feel about lockdown drills?
I say they're needed, honestly, yeah. I don't feel like they should be cut. And if anything, I agree with you. I feel like there should be more rather than cutting them.
We do announce now when the lockdown drills are coming and we send notifications home to try and limit the impact of that.
the stress.
Yeah, it's required. Yeah,
That's required now.
it's required.
Summer, you got thoughts?
So keep it at 4 is what you're saying.
Okay,
I
Gotcha.
would agree with the students.
okay, cool.
And Brian, I understand what you're saying. That after a while, the emotional toll with this, but then I think what's the emotional toll if the kids aren't prepared and something does happen? So, and I think more rather than less.
Becomes muscle memory when you repeat things.
Keep doing it, yeah.
And of course, it's gonna look different for you guys in elementary school than it looked when you were in middle school, than it looked when you got to high school. So I think kids are probably also constantly having to like shift their perspective on, okay, this is what I did when I was back at Glendale, but now this is what I have to do that I'm in the middle school and it looks different than what the high school does. So
How many fire drills do we have? How many mandated fire drills do they have?
8.
8?
4 in the fall. and
Fall,
4
4 in the spring.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, but I believe fire drills, if you do actually have a fire drill, that counts as.
Yes,
I don't know about the lockdown, but I know
It
fire
does.
drills.
we
it
count them.
counts.
We count them both. If they're
Okay.
actual events, we do count them.
Okay.
By the way, I am taking notes of what everybody says here, so that when I get there, especially if the things change, people, it does happen frequently, the resolutions will get changed, somebody to make an amendment to it, or a couple amendments. And this way I've got the thought in mind, how my vote would change based on amendments too.
Right.
Thank you, thank you.
Very valid point.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, the next one we had a 4-2 vote on was number 14. Mandating recess is what it basically came down to. I'm sorry, let's see. No, this one wasn't mandating recess because it was another one. It's setting up to 30 minutes a day that would count towards instructional hours. It was another one that purely mandated it. And we got a 4-2 on that, actually 4 yes and 2 undecided.
was undecided because how does this, and I think I probably asked this question last year and I don't remember the answer. I'm really sorry. Does that count or does that affect teacher contract in some way?
It can, if anything expands the length of day, it will impact the contract and would have to be negotiated.
Not necessarily a friend of mandates.
You don't
But-
say.
So, but again, the group voted yes for that or agreed with.
Yeah, but I'm wrong. This one wasn't the mandated one. The mandated one's further back. This was just that the time would count towards instructional time.
Okay.
Allowed set amount.
Yeah.
So
So if there's, sorry, if there
I'll
is,
jump in.
if there's recess during the course of the day, 20 minutes, let's just say, that doesn't count towards our instructional seat time, which that does have an impact on our 180-day calendar for aid purposes. We can't count recess, we can't count homeroom, we can't count passing time, we don't count lunch.
So this seems to me would allow, if I'm understanding this, some more flexibility. Or am I wrong? Like in that, if recess is counted, now,
It gives us
we're
30
not
more
as
instructional minutes a day.
restricted on the
Yeah.
time.
Yes,
Correct.
correct.
And
No.
again, thinking back to students, I just asked my kids, do you want more recess time? And they all agree.
Oh, yes. I mean, yes.
Well, this one doesn't add recess. It just allows you to count
Yep.
up to 30 minutes a day towards, I think the contract implication would be, we'd have to find 30 minutes not to.
Our elementary schools do a good job of
Yeah.
finding, there is recess time built in the elementary buildings now. And so, so making it part of the instructional minute requirement would certainly ease some of that, but I don't know if that's something like that's, to me, do we ever want to take anything away? That, and I don't want to open that door either from core instruction as well,
Right.
so.
Okay, it's
Because we
not
only
mandated.
have a set time during the
I
day,
think the
Right.
answer is no.
And it's not mandated, it's just allowing, but
but it would open the
Right.
door to that.
yeah, and how do you
Possibility.
squeeze it in? I
Right.
agree with you there.
But if our seat time I'm just round numbers. I can't do the point anything right now. It's too late in the day. But if let's say our school day is 7 hours, but our seat time is 5 hours because we've taken out that 30 minutes for lunch, 30 minutes for recess. Wouldn't that make our seat time 5.5 hours?
Yes.
It would,
So then it would give us some cushion,
Some
like they
wiggle.
were saying in the
So you're
Overall-
not, Mrs. Mateo, you're not
Yep.
wrong. What we do is
it
we
would.
back out that time. So we look at first bell, dismissal, and then we back out things like recess. We back out homeroom, we back out lunch, and we back out passing time. So it would help us.
It would add instructional minutes, but I guess if it's coupled with the next one, then that would make it difficult.
Not
But
good.
if we're already backing it out and the teachers are already in classrooms giving it to them, how does that affect the contract? I'm confused.
If your recess is a planning,
Doesn't it change the role of what the teachers
yeah, I think
are
it,
doing, supervisory versus instructional?
so we have to.
Already doing
to
it.
But we have to set aside certain amount of time for the teachers to have lunch and planning periods and whatnot.
Right,
That comes out of that, like that hour and a half, right? So now if we shrink that, now you're shrinking the time that would be built into a teacher's contract, that their lunch and planning, so that might get reduced, or I don't know the exact numbers, so without knowing that, it would be tough, but that's where it would play into the contract.
got it.
Because every teacher's planning and a lunch every day. So if we
Right.
add on 30 instructional minutes,
But I don't,
I would assume that the teachers are with the kids at recess, but
Not always.
no, not always. So not always. So if that's their lunch, why
That
they're,
could be their break, yeah.
yeah.
It
So
could an aid
it could
provide
be an aid
instruction.
provide instruction for the recess. That's where it plays in.
I would be curious to see how that's written up. I have a copy, but just in thinking about how that ultimately impacts recess. Because if you call it instructional time, I'm thinking like a principal, that's instructional time. I need to get more intervention in. I wonder,
Or are they, yeah, there's the other thing. Are they having
There's
lesson?
planning.
If it's instructional time, are they having lesson plan for recess?
So it's a no.
See,
The way that
but the
this is written,
rationale,
it doesn't. Yeah, in the rationale, it doesn't
Yeah.
say that.
I
don't have a
just think
copy of
that
it,
like,
no.
we can go down a rabbit hole and
Yeah.
I
through all these
agree, but
things. To me, it's more like the intent of this. It sounded like to me was to give more flexibility to locals.
I just think it wasn't.
I'm sorry, I'm probably overspeaking here, but I think it does give us flexibility. The flexibility is needed more so at the secondary level than it is at the elementary level for us.
and this is specific to elementary.
Come on,
recess.
As a senior, wouldn't you want some recess time? I mean.
This only says elementary, so.
Rounds, yeah. But I think if you look at like the rationale for this, I feel like this is built for schools that maybe don't, or districts that don't have recess built into their schedules already,
Agreed.
because it's talking about health benefits for kids, and World Health Organization recommends that kids run around for 20 to 60 minutes a day. So if a building doesn't have that built in because of their instructional minutes, this is going to benefit them.
And this.
I
looks
believe
like
They
it's coming
actually
from Long
have
Island.
to do this though.
I think they're required to have that time. built
They
in.
have to.
And I believe all these districts are from Long Island. If I'm not mistaken,
Just
or
I don't know,
northern,
Cold Spring Harbor, Hicksville, Locust Valley, Massapequa, yeah.
I think.
the Hudson Valley.
Or Hudson Valley, one or the other, yeah.
Yeah,
And you're right, it does say elementary
to that.
students, so.
And an email that has a link to it in there, the
Oh,
resolution.
thank you, thank you. I'll pass that.
So where,
are we,
Okay, so are we still a yes on this, or do people want to change? Because we had 4 yeses and then 2 undecided.
I believe I wasn't undecided. I think I would say
wasn't
probably.
undecided too.
I think there's too many implications on it without, I think it's too vague.
Okay.
I don't think there's a thought process into everything. I agree with the assessment of making sure that recess is kind of mandated, well, I don't want to say mandated again, but recess is there, but for us, I think it's too many implications that we just need more information on where it would go and how it would affect our actual school days if this was brought to us.
Okay, and I know in the past, some resolutions similar to this that went down, came back next year with more details for just that reason. I've told Dr. Wilson, even if you want to send me something tomorrow or Thursday morning, the meeting's Thursday at 4:00, I'd be happy to keep that in mind and bring it up if need be. Thank you.
So what we decide with that one?
I'm gonna say no. Okay. Let's see, 15 was there, 16?
You know, I just had a
15
question
was
on
a
15. I
discussion.
don't know if we're gonna, I asked for a discussion because I didn't know what is. Where is it? No, that wasn't the one, sorry. 17.
Oh, yeah, okay, 15 was all good.
That was to increase aid for out-of-district special ed students to reflect the increased cost of transportation and stuff like that.
I just heard Don sigh.
Yeah. So, yeah, related services, tuitions, transportation, so.
Okay, and the rest of them, we're 5 yeses and 1 undecided on most of them, with a couple of 6s. That gets us through all the ones that were.
Can I just ask a question about
Sure.
17? They talked about an annual hold harness phase out. What is that?
The smaller school districts in the state right now are getting what they call hold harmless from, even though their populations are dropping down in the foundation aid that they get, they're not losing money in there. So they want to be able to extend that out.
And that's where the
because-
2%, no more than the
Yeah.
2% of their
Yeah,
budget.
because otherwise, a lot of them are going to start going out of money very quickly because of the decline in their populations.
Thank you.
Okay, that gets us to 24. Everything from 24 on were not recommended by the committee, are still the vote for this. It's still a yes or no vote when we vote on it. The difference is, again, at the business meeting, it's not automatically brought to the floor. They have to get a motion and a second and then an approval to bring, even be able to bring it to the floor. Usually they all make the floor anyways, but not always.
There it is.
So this is still gonna be a yes or no on the answers. So 24, we had 1 yes and 5 no's. Anybody have anything they wanted to say about that?
Looks like the committee voted no for all of them.
Yeah. Yeah, they've wanted from all the schools from ECASP voted no on all of them. Although there was some lively discussion on a couple of them.
25 was some lively discussion. I thought that was interesting.
See, where are we?
Yeah.
25? 25 was 2, 3 and undecided.
Are we on 24 or 25?
I don't know. where-
I'm sorry, 24, because it was only 1 yes and 5 no's.
But I think doesn't that mean we all, like, I voted no.
So you agree
Like
with,
the-
Which is
the
no
doc-
on the
the-
resolution.
The electronic document said, do you agree or disagree, didn't it? Or
Yes.
I don't remember.
So
Sorry.
when we got to the no's, I would put disagree.
Yeah.
Because
And that's what the committee's recommended that you do is disagree.
Yes.
so I think we're all in
Favor
favor.
of 24 is voting no.
5, I think we have to swap. I'm saying we went to 5 to 1, now we have to do 1 to 5.
Right.
Yeah, and it is. It's 1, yeah, it's 1, that one is 1 to 5.
Okay, so we're good on.
We're good on
24.
24.
we're good on 24, yes.
Yeah, and actually the discussion regarding that was about, they're already providing a lot of money for reorganization aid, and this was just another bite at the same apple, basically, is what it came down to in the discussion. Okay, number 25 was a 2 and 3 with the 1 undecided, and that's okay, that was somebody proposing to have the people with the top income rates in the state have their taxes go up to help fund schools specifically for pre-K, actually for public education, I'm sorry. This may be one of the few points that Mr. Rabbit and I agree on things. But
I mean, you just can't, who determines what's a fair? What's fair? I mean, that's really what this is. They don't pay enough because they make too much. So it just really kind of irked me a little bit without getting too far into it, but they disagreed also, so.
yeah, the committee also, and I don't have the numbers, I'm sorry, she didn't give us the numbers. But yeah, but to 2 to 3 here, I mean, I'm curious what other people's thoughts are. I mean, what I
put
just said, I'll
undecided
share my
because I
own.
wasn't touching it.
Yeah, I'm
Well, I
blank.
think I agree with the rationale or I think they indicated that this almost seems like it's outside of the tax policy seems to me to be in the legislator's office
True.
more than,
Right, but if you're looking, it says that we would advocate with legislators to incorporate this into their tax budget. Is basically what they're saying, right?
Yeah.
Because I think I've also voted undecided because NICET is doing.
Gotcha, you're in the
something
middle
like
there.
this too. Yeah, so.
Oh, go ahead.
Okay, and I said, my thought on it was just that, I mean, our job for taxes is right here with what Mr. Feldman provides us a year. I don't, I'm not gonna say I won't go talk with the legislator about just about anything, but I don't know everything that a legislator has to deal with when they're setting tax rates. We've got our one small, well, it's not the small piece, but
They want to raise additional funds for education by taxing a certain class of people more.
Yeah.
But it really isn't. You're right, it's up to the legislature.
yeah, and there's a lot more variables involved than just the school. That's my
Yeah,
thought.
Exactly.
So are we no on that still? Okay. Let's see. 26 was 1, 3, and 2. About the religious exemption for vaccine mandates. 2 undecided. I mean, anybody got any specific comments on it that their
So what
thought?
is this saying? That they think they should have mandates or religious exemptions?
They should be able to, yeah, have a religious exemption to
This is
vaccines.
saying that they don't agree they should have religious exemptions.
No, religious exemptions were taken out
Yeah.
by New York State.
There is no
They want to
religious
restore the religious exemption so that people could file for a religious exemption for vaccines.
And then we're saying that they shouldn't be allowed to have religious exemptions.
Correct. That's what this,
Yes. If you vote no on this, you're saying
Okay.
no religious exemption.
I'm at no. Okay.
Other thoughts?
What was the vote? What was that?
It's above my
Um,
pay grade.
I
We
was
were-
undecided. I'm like, oh.
Yeah, 2 yes, 3 no, and 1 undecided, so.
So close though. Could we come to a? I don't know
No,
what
this
mine
was
was,
1,
but
3.
Am I in the wrong place? I'm sorry.
Yeah, this was 1, 3, and 2.
Well, 2 was undecided, right?
Yeah, 1 for, 3 against, 2 undecided.
I don't think that's.
Yeah, I'm
close.
sorry, I'm in the wrong line here.
3-1.
Yeah,
but we need
I-
to put it
It's only one
somewhere.
disagreed. The
it
whole-
was 1 for, 3 against, and then 2 undecided.
Are we okay with a no, everybody? Okay.
Do you agree with the no?
We agree with the no.
Agree with the no.
Correct.
And 27 was 2, 3, and 1. Sorry, I was
Positive,
reading
negatives,
ahead of
mixed.
myself here. This was basically about salary equity.
Can I give us
I'm
a
trying-
raise for being a board member? By lowering our,
No.
our property tax?
Yeah, that was a different one.
This was for rural
That didn't go very far.
districts.
Why would you lower your property tax for serving on the school board?
Because they lost the resolution last year to
Didn't
just
wanna
flat out
do
get
that.
paid for serving on a school
Yeah.
board.
Wouldn't it make
It
more
was a new
sense to
shot
lower
at
your
it.
school tax and then your property tax?
It's just an indirect payment, that one.
Yeah,
Right, like-
exactly.
Yeah, so this one is financial aid to provide supplemental state funding to rural districts for the purpose of equalizing teacher salaries.
So this I was undecided because even with the explanation, I don't understand what they're saying here.
They want to give more money to rural schools so they could pay their teachers the same as they would like a Sweet Home.
'Cause what you're having is a lot of the smaller districts, and we're guilty of it too, are losing staff to a bigger district that pays more money.
Yep.
I know we've poached a handful from, I won't go any further than that.
So
It's just the way it is, because the teachers are coming, they get the opportunity for a bigger salary, so they're moving it from a smaller district to a bigger district.
So who pays that?
Well, it would be in the state tech funding. So,
Ultimately,
but
we do.
when you're,
Yeah.
Somewhere else.
so it would
though.
pull from the suburban and city districts to give to the rural districts so they could pay their teachers more.
Like this.
Yeah.
It's very, it's very open-ended because
You almost have to, like, you have to read through read between the lines on where the funding stream is coming.
Like Googled them, like I
Yeah.
couldn't remember what like the hold harmless was. I Googled that and I was like, oh, I learned something again.
Yes.
But this I just.
So when the
didn't
state puts out
understand.
their foundation aid, what they want to say is the rural districts can get more to offset, to pay their teachers more. But foundation aid is one big block that gets divided up. So if you're going to give more to one district, it's got to
It's
come from somewhere else. So it's coming from another district.
Not
and the
enough anyway.
logistics of that, in my mind, even if they wanted to do it, would be almost impossible. When you look at contracts, I just heard at one of the meetings I
Right.
was at recently, some school district in Western New York has a 30 years before they get to the top step. And others are like 12 to 15. And I mean, how do you equalize salaries like that when you got contracts that are that disparate from each other? Yeah, that was kind of my reaction. It's like, I didn't know, but that's, okay.
Yep.
So we're gonna leave that at a no?
Yep.
All right. Next one, 28. We had, questions, yeah, 1 for, 2 against, 2 undecided, and 1 discussion.
I might not have read it right, but are they saying that they don't want to promote academic excellence? Because
No,
it just,
It's a double negative.
Sounds so crazy.
so,
They want to, yeah, oppose any
That you
changes
have
to
want this.
curriculum
Terrible.
that does not promote academic excellence.
So what else are you promoting in your curriculum? Mediocrity, like?
yeah,
Well,
mediocre.
I mean, there's a double
like
negative,
Avis, we
so
strive to
really
be number
we're.
two.
We're number 2.
no,
this same group
this.
of schools,
Sorry.
That's why
same
I
group of
was
schools
undecided.
submitted something last year that had to do with basically there were certain things that they did not want to see in the classroom. And this is a way of dancing around that. They were like
To me-
avoiding sex
to me, that
education
just
classes.
sounds like- yeah.
Yeah.
Or-
They're trying to dance around in a new direction.
Or the blue ribbon, some of the things that the blue ribbon
Yeah.
committee put out, and I think that's what, yeah. I'm,
Not fun.
Yeah, and unfortunately, the committee didn't.
well,
Well, I'm
so,
sure
but
they
this
didn't wanna
one
start a
says
fight.
we would oppose it, so should we be voting yes?
Yes, that's what I was asking.
Yeah. There's like, okay, wait, hold on.
The triple
Because I feel
negative is
the
really
draw
messy.
Yeah.
in here. New York
I mean,
State-
I agree, we should oppose
propose any policies to
No, that does
curriculum
not.
that does not.
Yeah, so this we would be a no on this.
Okay, thank you,
Yes.
because I couldn't get
No.
it either. Okay.
This is one of the things that we had,
I think they write it this way so people don't realize what they're voting,
Exactly.
how they're voting, and, oh, it went through.
yeah.
So
we had,
Scott, when
Matt-
you're on the resolutions committee next year.
Remember that this is just a proposal,
Easter.
so,
Oh, I recognize the school names immediately.
yeah.
All right.
This, we actually had Matt DeLaus from NISBA's legislative team. He's actually their lawyer. He came to the meeting too, so we could explain some of the stuff to us. So that was nice.
I'm with the
In his
will
legalese
of the
language?
opposed, yes.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
We're there. All right.
legalese. what we need.
29.
The same group.
So we agree with the opposition here, right?
29, we're 1311.
All right. Which one?
29. Advocate for school districts to be granted home rule authority to strengthen local control by elected boards of education.
The biggest part of the discussion on this one was towns allegedly have that home rule authority and the state overrules them all the time anyways for stuff and for mandates and just like for us too, even if we did, I mean, we're supposed to be able to control all our own stuff. We just got the cell phone ban or whatever you want to call it.
Right.
So that's, the bottom line is, even if we had it, they're going to do what they want to do.
Yeah.
Whether we agree, I mean, I agree with the cell phone thing, but whether you agree with it or not, they're going to continue to do what they want to do. And I think it struck a lot of the people as just wasted time to try to do.
I mean, they issued the mandate, but at least we as the district get to decide how we were going to,
Right.
our own
Yeah,
policy
implementation,
for
yeah.
it. So,
Which was fantastic, by the way, Dr. Wilson. The cell phone thing.
Yeah, like I said, I think the general consensus was it would probably be not worth trying to get into legislation.
agreed.
You everybody good with that one?
Yep.
Okay. Number 30 was 1, 3, and 2 undecided. Okay, that was the one about property tax exemption. Basically, it's a roundabout way of trying to get paid. It would actually be more than they were trying to get paid last year.
So we agree with opposing it. Is that what we're saying?
Yeah.
Unless you really want to get paid, Mary
Hey,
Ann,
yeah, no, thank you.
back pay.
There you go.
Look at that. Listen, I've only 4 years. They've got, the three of them got a lot
I
more years
know.
than I do.
Easy.
They
Here's
bank-
times 20.
Backdate that for us.
That'd be pushing 50 grand.
Yeah.
The check is in the mail.
Yeah.
Nicole left already.
Heard that
Thank
one.
you.
Okay, number 31, we were 2, 2, and 2.
Oh, eliminate Regents exam testing at the high school level in favor of state final exams that comply with the ESSA, Every Student Succeeds Act regulations in 10th and 11th grade for ELA, math, and science. There.
Basic discussion on this one came down to the states in the process of not making it mandatory already as we move towards the portrait of a graduate. So why would we spend our time on that? Is pretty much what the consensus
Well,
came down to
and-
there.
I said no on this because even though they're not mandatory, taking a Regents level class and a Regents exam count towards your seal of civic readiness. And so those are points.
Yeah.
So while you don't have to pass, I supposedly, to pass the class, it does count. When you pass it, it counts as, you need 8 points to get the seal, right?
Okay.
So passing the Regents exam gives you a point. So if you don't take the Regents exam, you got to find that point somewhere else. So that's why I
It
was
still
like,
falls in line after the portrait of graduate, right?
right.
Okay.
The Blue Ribbon Commission, they're not eliminating Regents exams, they're offering more options.
Yeah.
So in some cases, depending on the subject, the Regents exam may be the one option that a district, so talk about some of those rural districts, one option that they may have will still be the Regents exam, and that's the option for that subject. But it just opens up that flexibility about
Yeah.
local control.
Okay.
What you
Some
can
place that
offer.
might not be able to handle an AP class or something like that.
Right.
Okay. Any other comments? We good on no?
We agree with the disagree, yes. I do anyway.
Okay. And 32 was 1 and 4, so I'm gonna assume that's a good on no. 33 was also 2, 2, and 2. Okay. About,
Title One.
yeah, using Title I funding for out of district, summer camps, that type of stuff. The discussion I heard on it was more concerned about how would we be able to make sure that the places, if they gave money to them, that they were properly serving the needs and that they were meeting the same type of requirements that we would have to meet as a school district if they were going to hand off that money in the summer. So I just. But. Good to know.
Yeah.
No.
We're almost done,
That's
everybody.
Yep, we are on 34.
Cradle Beach.
Yes.
And so
Yeah.
instead of kids that are in extended school year, they take a week off of that to go to.
This
Cradle
is
Beach.
the
That's not
mandatory
plan.
recess.
Yeah, this is the one I'd forgotten about.
School
Yeah.
districts to play.
34 is mandatory recess.
They don't support it.
That's why I'm just going to ask everyone.
They're neutral. to
We
this.
don't support it.
Well, we kind of already have it built in, right? I mean, it's not mandatory, but
Right.
I like
all of our
recess.
elementary schools have.
The mandate.
Yeah.
This gives us flexibility. We have it built in, but it's flexible and mandate would be
And we
tough.
don't-
No, we got a
We know
3. I think I
Dirk's
voted
feelings on
yes on it,
mandates.
and then I thought about it more. Don't really want it to be a
Doesn't
yes.
this have the implication on the contract though, that we were talking about earlier?
It could.
Yeah,
Yeah, if we make it mandatory, I'm sure it
Right.
will.
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah.
So we agree
Especially if
with
the
the
other one
negative.
doesn't get put into
yes,
place.
yes.
Perfect.
New,
You
new.
got it.
Hallelujah.
Thank you. This got done much faster than I'm sure the business meeting will be.
Yes, I'm,
We love you for
Poor
doing
Scott.
it.
yes,
Thank you, Scott.
yes. And now that you're gonna be on the committee for the next 3 years, you're gonna have to be, yeah.
Thank you for doing that so that.
Yeah.
We appreciate
thank
you
you.
very much.
Well, last year was better than the
Alright.
first time they did it. It wasn't 8 hours last year. It was only like 5.5.
There were more last year, I remember.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there were more resolutions too.
more.
Yeah. Okay, thanks, everyone.
I feel like
You're
it's
welcome.
always.
And if you
usually
think
around
anything else
50.
between now and 4 o'clock on Thursday, let me know.
Okay,
Thank you,
thank
Scott.
you. Okay, so you're done with, you're good with
Yep.
your update?
Yep.
So next week, we will be reviewing our board self-evaluation. And moving on from that, our calendar, let's see, we have the Dollars for Scholars Committee meeting, DEI meeting, a couple of trunk or treat events coming up. Fun run at Willow Ridge, the pumpkin run at Glendale, the craft show, as was mentioned earlier. The NISBA convention that Scott and Dirk are attending, correct? Are you going to New York City next week?
Yes.
For NISBA? Okay. And Mr. Feldman is presenting.
Why don't you chuckle about that?
I want to.
I'll be attending that session.
I want to know how you got to, you're not dragging him along. He got out of it.
I'm
No,
happy
he
to be an
chickened
audience
out.
member.
Either. He's gonna be the
Okay.
I'm gonna sit with my fellow rural board members. in the back.
Don, I think you
Um,
should have him right next to you. Click on the button on the slideshow.
We have some picture retakes coming up, Alumni Association moving through November. Then that starts All-State and some All-State music and some concerts starting in November. So,
I just want to mention the fun run at Willow Ridge, that actually already happened.
Yes.
oh, that's
Yeah,
right. The
Friday.
fun run that it happened Friday.
Yep.
This Friday was their rain date. I noticed that as soon as I said
And
it.
just
So
for,
thank you.
what they raised $18,000
Wow.
PTO.
The
So,
goal
I
was
mean,
12, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And,
Wow.
so
And-
that program,
Thanks for your support.
Wow.
But what are they doing to Mr. Polino? What did they decide?
I don't
Duct
know.
taping to the
It
wall, I
was-
heard.
It was,
I thought it was Pisces,
I thought it was silly string.
maybe.
I think it's silly string.
All of the above.
They hadn't decided at the
Silly
meeting the other night, so I'm
Yeah, I
curious
mean,
to see
he
where it's
was in
going.
favor of the silly string because it's less
You know,
clean up on him. But he has been duct taped to a wall. He has been.
I do believe
tied.
he said, I
Um,
am up for anything.
Yeah, so.
And he was sitting next to Mrs. Leibel, so I'm hopeful to hear what happens.
if you don't,
let us know.
Mr. Belanti, while you're talking calendar, just so you know, these things were sitting in the district office next to Fallon's desk from ECASB.
Okay,
It's a calendar of their events plus their various committees.
thank you. All right, this leads us to our first open session per board policy 1510. The open session is for topics related to tonight's agenda. Is anyone interested in speaking? No takers. Okay, moving on. New business. We'll be voting on new business next week. So let's go through them. A is our special ed, and preschool class placements.
I still have to read through those. I'll have it done by next week.
Okay. B is our district audit report, which we just sat through. C is our monthly financial report. D is an overnight field trip with the All-State Music Festival in Fredonia. E is our capital outlay project. F is a resolution of the Board of Education. I believe this is to
The Winnie Rick.
Winnie Rick.
Rick, technology.
consortium.
Yeah.
Is that-
Yeah, that's-
I was just looking at other
About-
people's
yes,
contracts.
yes.
Yeah,
Share contracts.
this makes us part of a consortium that allows us to potentially piggyback off of other contracts to make us Ed Law 2D compliant.
G is the State Environmental Quality Review Act or seeker resolution for the capital improvement project in 2025. H is the public vote resolution for the capital improvement project in 2025. I will be our Board of Education goals. And J is a extracurricular activity account policy 7410 to open a varsity cross-country account.
Mr. Belanti,
Yes.
just for the point of the board, items G and H, specifically item G, we are still in the 30-day comment period for the seeker for the capital improvement project. That closes, I believe, on Thursday. So our attorney will issue you a letter and a report on that. So that'll be posted to the board website on Friday, as well as the resolution. They're working through the language of the resolution for the actual vote.
Okay, thank you. Any questions, comments, concerns on A through J?
We gonna finalize the board goals? See some changes in the online.
Yes.
Which ones are they?
Sorry, I have to,
2 and
Is that discussion on next week's agenda?
yes,
Discussion and vote.
We do that all next week?
yes, the self-evaluation and the goals will be discussed next week.
Okay, very good.
Any other questions or comments? Okay, open session number 2, policy 1510. Would anyone like to address the board? You would have 3 minutes. Please state your name, address, and relationship to Sweet Home. No, okay. Moving on to personnel. We'll be voting on these personnel appointments next week. We have teaching and administrative. And I believe there's a lot of teaching assignments, mentors, building leadership teams, things like that, that we are approving. And then 2 would be, service. Well, any questions, comments on personnel? Okay, so just want to give Javon a chance. Before we adjourn, is there anything that you would like to add? So next week, we will have informational items where all the board talks about things that they've done over the past couple of weeks. You would have a chance to speak then about what's going on in the high school and what student government is doing and stuff like that. So, but the floor is yours if you have anything to say to us.
No, I honestly don't think so, right, as of right now.
Okay. All right, well, welcome officially again. So anybody else?
That's it.
Okay, so can I have a motion and second to adjourn the meeting?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, thank you, everybody.